Hey guys, Downman here with more info on Star Citizen for you. So basically I'm going to crunch the last few ATVs, put them all together, and tell you what this means in a whole. Because you can't really watch these ATVs individually to get a real scope of what's going on. You kind of have to watch them together, so that's what I've done here. So this is all for 3.0 and beyond. So basically turrets, that's what we're going to discuss here quickly. The turrets are in the new pipe system. And they've got a new aiming system. That means you cannot shoot your own ship, which is nice. It also means that when you're aiming with a turret, if the pilot decides to say pull a sharp left or right, it's not necessarily going to affect your aim. You're still going to stay on target. But yeah, you'll still have the enemy dead in your iron sights. The new pipe system means that the turret's going to feed off of the ship's heat, coolers, all these sort of things. So the turrets aren't going to be their own little independent entities anymore. They're going to be actually connected to the ship by more than one means. Turrets will have alternate fire modes as well, which is fantastic, which will improve your accuracy. If you have something that has 4 guns on it, like a hurricane turret, you'll be able to have each of the guns firing off one by one, like doof, 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 doof. So you have a steady stream of shots heading towards your enemy. If you have a cutlass, you'll be able to fire like boom, 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 bit like that, like one gun then the other gun like the other gun. Different firing modes like staggered firing modes and things like this, which are very, very important in the long run of the game, and in my opinion, it really enhances gameplay. Turrets are going to have the same interaction system as ship cockpits, and I'll get to that in a minute. So basically, it means you'll be able to turn things on and off inside the cockpit realistically like you would in real life. You actually look around the inside of the turret's, let's say, cage, and you'll be able to activate all the different switches and things, and they all do things. It's absolutely fantastic. Turrets will need to be powered on, and things like that, like the cockpits do. Like when you get in a ship, you're going to have to power things on manually. Same deal with turrets. You'll be able to feel the G-forces when you're in a turret now, like the rest of the crew will. So if the ship pulls a hard maneuver, it's not just the pilot who's going to feel it, it's the rest of the crew, including you, the gunner. You're also going to feel it pretty hardcore. A little bit like The Expanse, and I really like where Star Citizen is leaning towards that kind of sci-fi, which is pretty great in my opinion. Better turret animations now, so it's not as janky and it's not as clunky. You'll be able to get the gun lined up on target a lot quicker than before. That's fantastic. Better turret UI, so you can actually see what's going on now. They're planning on having it so that the pilot or target designator guy, depending on what size of ship you're in, will be able to designate priority targets for the gunners, so the gunners can all work together, but that's in the works. As of right now, this is what we have. So it's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Turrets are going to be fantastic. So yeah, looking forward to that. So cockpits. As you can see here, this is what I was talking about, the interaction system. Looking around the interior of the cockpit will actually give you an idea of what everything does. In 3.0, there will be a stealth button, but you didn't hear that from me. But yeah, there'll be a stealth button you'll be able to activate, and it'll put your ship into a specific mode. Now, if you have a Saber or something like an Eclipse, it's going to be a very important mode to you. So for cockpits, as you can see, better interaction system. Chris Roberts wanted it so that a player can activate everything in the ship and learn everything in the ship just by learning how to use the interaction system. There will be like hotkeys you can set up for, like, being able to do multiple things, like have your character flip all the switches and stuff, like and things like that. But there's a more manual way of doing it when you're looking around activating things the old-fashioned way. Chris Roberts wanted it so that players would not have an unfair advantage. So the Gladiator, the Buccaneer, the Saber, and the Vanguard, these cockpits have also been updated. So now moving into cockpits also, they wanted to have cockpits have a damage state. So not just by a little diagram on your left side of your screen knowing how bad the damage your ship is, you'll now feel it too in the cockpit with smoke and flames and steam and oxygen being vented and all sorts of crazy madness like that. You'll be able to actually feel the things. If you pull heavy G's when you're flying in your ship, the G-forces, like when you get out of your ship, it will affect your stamina, so your guy will not be able to run necessarily right away. I really think this new cockpit system makes the ships way more homely, if you understand what I mean there. Way more physicalized, more real, more really like, I don't know, it feels more immersive. That's the word I'm looking for. Definitely more immersive. Cockpits will have detailed interaction mode, better, more advanced animations, impact effects. So that means when the ship gets hit, your character will be jostled about on the inside. And the same deal is true for turrets and the rest of the crew. Everyone's gonna feel it when a ship gets hit, and your character will wobble in the chair. There's so many more animations they've added. It's fantastic. So as you can see, this is what I mean. When you're getting shot at, you can see everything rocking around a little bit. And that's because your character's being jostled around by the forces of the impacts and stuff like that. They wanted to have a more dynamic system in terms of damage, especially if you're in a fighter, because so far only the larger ships have got warning lights and things like that to let you know your ship is breaking down and you need to get the hell out of Dodge. So they're going to be adding that to the smaller fighters. There will be a little red light or something, a glow. The lighting will change on the interior of your cockpit, and all sorts of other things will be going off to let you know you need to eject. As you can see here on a variant of the Saber, there's an orange light in there to let you know that you're in trouble and your ship is badly damaged. It's time to get the hell out of Dodge. This will be put together with a whole bunch of other various effects such as smoke and fire and all sorts of good stuff like that. So yeah, if you pull a high G, basically, you'll feel it when you get out of your ship. They've enhanced all the screens and monitors, especially on the Gladius. The Gladius has got animated monitors now, and that's fantastic. Everything's been slightly angled, so, you know, you're not gonna basically not be able to see it with sun glare and things like that. Because you gotta remember, folks, there's so many different situations these ships are gonna be put through. Whether it's flying through a canyon in a dark and dingy planet, or into deep space, or flying across the surface of a planet that has a really, really bright star, so there's an incredible amount of sun glare, so it's hard to see anything at all. These cockpits have to be able to function in all these different environments, so these screens have to be able to be seen in these different environments, and they've done a really good job. As you can see, there's a very detailed use of all the screens and things inside the cockpits. This is a Buccaneer here, you can see on your screen now, a Drake Buccaneer. This ship does not have an eject. Please take that in mind, folks, for future. But you can see here, these are all the different things you can do inside the ship. You can activate everything manually. Chris really wanted that immersive hands-on feel, and I am totally for it. Star Citizen, in my opinion, needs to be more immersive like this and less arcadey. And I know a few people out there aren't going to be happy about that, but at the end of the day, this was a space sim, and it's now become a universe. It's still got to have that sim aspect at heart. Now, going back to the sim aspect, armor. Now, armor is a big deal in Star Citizen. And back to stamina quickly, because the more armor you have on your character, all this weight and stuff gets added together on your character's skeleton. So when you're running, it'll affect your stamina, how it recovers and how much you spend exerting yourself doing different activities. If you have light armor, or hell, if you don't have any armor at all, you just have a flight suit, you're not going to use too much stamina doing simple things. But if you have heavy battle armor on, you're going to really cost yourself some serious stamina doing mundane tasks. Especially pulling the more rigorous activities. So in armor, as you can see, these are the new armors. You got the marine armors that we've got in the game now, and the sort of outlaw armor they have there. It's all a bit samey. The armor that really stands out is the legacy armor. That's the legacy marine armor and the legacy outlaw bandit armor. They're bringing up the legacy marine and bandit armor up to a more modernized standard. That means they have to get rid of them and build them up again from scratch, because they didn't really work in the new pipeline. The way armor works now is it's completely modular. Undersuits are the only real things which are different. Everything else you can just bolt onto any undersuit. You can have a very basic undersuit and just bolt on a whole bunch of different pieces, and you've got your own suit right there. With the old legacy armor, you weren't able to do that. So, but the new armor that they're working on, you will be able to. And I'm loving this concept artwork, especially for the outlaw stuff. It looks absolutely stunning. I really love the post-apocalyptic deep space setting that they have going on. Very bounty hunter-esque. And I like the fact that they're keeping the characters of the old armors alive and yet bringing them up to a really modern standard. As you can see here, this is how the undersuits work. You just bolt on different pieces of armor. Like you can change out the helmet to what kind of armor you want to have. There's light, medium, heavy, as you will all know, but there's different variations of armor out there in the verse, and this is the older stuff you can see here. It looks cool. It's been around for a very, very, very long time, like an extremely few years now, and they want to really bring it up to speed with the newer stuff, because as of right now, it doesn't work. You can't use this in a modular sense. The only thing that can be used in a modular sense is the helmet. But the armor is made of all these old armors are made from different shaders and older materials, which cost more. And it's all about reducing the cost, so you can have more stuff going on, basically, and not too much load on the servers and your computer. So the new armor, shaders and stuff, it all comes down to optimization at the end of the day and looking good. And they're able to pull it off with all their new shaders and new materials and things like that now. And so they're bringing up these armors now to a more modern status. They're rebuilding them from scratch, as you can see here. This is one of my favorite helmets. They're remodeling it from scratch, giving it a little bit more of a menacing approach, but they're keeping the character of it alive, and that's what I absolutely adore, is they're not just throwing it away completely. So the light armor is going to be, as I quote, badass. I can't wait to see it. The fact that we're going to have so much more customization available to us in Star Citizen really makes me happy. The total amount of customization we're getting is mind-boggling, especially in a game that's of this scale. Now, this is an undersuit. Now, this is what I was talking about. This is what armor bolts onto. You'll see different variations of this undersuit on your screen soon. So, undersuits, you'll be able to get a whole variety of different types, but they all do the same purpose. They're an undersuit. It's what your armor gets bolted onto. These are the different variations. There you have the RSI one, and then you have, like, all different damage and different types and torn and held together with duct tape and all that good stuff, like Outlaw styled. I really, really like where they're going with this, with the Outlaw stuff being a lot more wasteland, a lot more rugged, sort of used, a bit chewed up here and there in places, a little bit more alive in a sense. So I really, really like that. The Outlaw stuff that they're working on, especially the light helmet, you can see here all the little details. It looks a lot like a skull. It's a very close-fitting helmet, but it's the lightest armor in the game. So please take that into note, guys. When you're wearing this stuff, you're not exactly going to be running around like Buck Rogers. You're going to be getting blasted, more along the lines. You wear this stuff and you go into battle, it's not going to be too long before you die. It's more of a... You'd wear this, I guess, for raiding missions, to be quick on your feet and not get hit. You don't want to take hits in this type of stuff. That's what they were saying. This, on the other hand, the heavy slugger gear, is absolutely amazing. They've kept very true to the original slugger armor, and that makes me happy. Slugger gear was always very, very post-apocalyptic. It was very Mad Max, and they wanted it to be very futuristic, not very Mad Max. Like they said, that the current slugger armor looks like something we will have maybe in 5 years' time. They need something that works hundreds of years from now, and that's what this is. They went for more of a samurai kind of approach. I'm not overly happy with the slugger helmet you're about to see here. The rest of the armor, I really like the approach that they've taken for it, though. Like, the new heavy slugger armor looks great, but that samurai sort of style helmet, in my opinion, looks so out of place in Star Citizen, like the curved edges around the back of it. But yeah, in terms of armor, that they said was, as we all know, technology, it arrives big and then it gets streamlined, and like, you know, the technology gets better so it can get smaller. Same deal's true for Star Citizen. They're staying true to the lore with the old Outlaw armor. So there's going to be a few bulky pieces on them here and there that have been streamlined and made a lot smaller in the more modern armors and flight suits and things like that. So that's about it so far, folks. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. You know the drill, Commanders. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse.